The FBI has just stumbled upon a jaw-dropping secret inside Whoopi Goldberg's mansion. A revelation so shocking that even seasoned agents were left speechless. What led them to storm the legendary actress's estate? What mysteries lie hidden beyond those heavy doors? And, more importantly, why has this truth remained buried for so long? The newly uncovered evidence has rewritten everything we once believed about Goldberg, and this unfolding drama is only getting started. As the first hints of daylight painted the sky, the quiet neighborhood surrounding Whoopi Goldberg's grand home seemed undisturbed, with only the whisper of leaves drifting against the pavement. But this morning, that serenity was abruptly shattered by the deafening roar of engines, hurried footfalls, and a tension so thick it was almost suffocating. It was barely past 5 a.m. The sun had yet to break the horizon, and most of the neighborhood remained in deep slumber. However, a handful of elderly early risers accustomed to their morning strolls sensed at once that something was terribly wrong. From the shadows, a convoy of unmarked black SUVs crawled forward, exuding an air of silent authority. Doors swung open and men in dark suits, armored vests, and mirrored sunglasses stepped onto the pavement, their faces unreadable. Moving with military precision, they formed a perimeter around Goldberg's estate, sealing off every possible exit and ensuring that no one could slip in or out unnoticed. Then a thunderous pounding rattled the front door, a forceful, deliberate knock that sent echoes bouncing through the silent morning. This was no ordinary visit. This was an operation. Inside the house, movement stirred. A warm glow flickered from an upstairs window, a sign that someone had woken up. Moments later, the massive wooden door groaned as it slowly swung open. Standing in the doorway was Whoopi Goldberg herself, a woman who had conquered Hollywood's highest peaks, yet now found herself facing an entirely different kind of confrontation. Though caught off guard, Whoopi remained effortlessly composed. Wrapped in a soft gray robe, her hair tousled from sleep, she surveyed the scene before her with sharp, assessing eyes. She wasn't frightened, just intrigued and slightly bewildered. What's happening? Her voice, though calm, carried a sharp edge. One of the agents took a measured step forward, flashing an FBI badge before retrieving a folder from a sleek black briefcase. His words were cold, firm, and absolute. "We have a federal search warrant. Step aside." Like a detonated bomb, that statement shattered the morning's eerie stillness. The moment the door creaked open, agents poured inside, swiftly claiming every inch of the mansion as their own. Clusters of curious onlookers had formed outside, their whispers blending into a chorus of speculation. "Can you believe it?" A woman in her 40s murmured, shaking her head. "Whoopi Goldberg, of all people." Another voice chimed in, hushed but eager. "She's a huge celebrity. What business could the FBI possibly have with her?" Despite their hushed tones, their words only fueled the already growing tension. Word of the commotion had reached reporters, and within minutes, they arrived in droves. They hoisted their cameras high, determined to document every second of the unfolding drama. Local law enforcement moved in swiftly, erecting barriers to control the swelling crowd and keep them at bay. Flash after flash illuminated the dark-tinted windows of the FBI vehicles, casting a chaotic glow across the driveway. Meanwhile, inside the opulent mansion, a meticulous search was in full swing. Agents worked in teams, each given a precise task. No corner would be left unchecked. Drawers were yanked open, books were pulled from shelves, and every inch of space was examined with calculated precision. Whoopi remained rooted to the center of her lavish living room, arms folded tightly across her chest. Her sharp gaze never wavered from the strangers systematically tearing through her belongings. She knew the FBI never arrived without a cause, but what troubled her most was the unanswered question. Why her? What had triggered this suspicion? One of the agents stepped forward, locked eyes with her, and asked in a firm, measured tone, "Do you want us to call your lawyer?" Whoopi exhaled slowly, her expression unreadable, before responding, "That's probably the best idea." No, one had a clear picture of what the authorities were searching for, but there was no doubt that it was something significant. In a quiet corner of the mansion, agents wearing sterile white gloves delicately sifted through the contents of Whoopi's personal library. This space housed decades' worth of important materials, scripts, contracts, letters, each document holding a piece of her long-standing career. A gloved hand pulled out a bundle of papers, methodically flipping through each page with careful scrutiny. Meanwhile, in a different part of the estate, a separate unit descended into the basement, an area long forgotten and layered with dust. Boxes that hadn't been touched in years were pried open, their contents meticulously examined. Then, without warning, an agent's voice rang out. This might be it. At once, the atmosphere inside the mansion shifted. Every agent quickly converged as a heavy metal box was carefully extracted from a concealed corner. The lock remained intact, its untouched appearance suggesting it had been hidden away for years. Standing a few feet away, Whoopi narrowed her eyes and said in a hushed voice, "That's something I don't recognize." The agents exchanged silent glances before swiftly escorting the sealed box outside. They didn't pry it open on the spot. Instead, it was securely packed and loaded into a specialized vehicle ready for transport. After what felt like an eternity, the search finally came to an end. The FBI agents vacated the premises without a single word to the waiting press, offering no insight into their operation. The mansion, once filled with voices and movement, now stood eerily silent. Outside, the dispersing crowd still buzzed with curiosity, their speculations taking flight. By the next morning, news headlines dominated every major outlet. FBI storms Whoopi Goldberg's home. What's the mystery? Secrets lurking in Whoopi's mansion. What did they discover? The nation held its breath, desperate for clarity. But for now, only those within the investigation knew the truth. And that truth? It had the power to change everything. Whoopi Goldberg has never been one to avoid controversy. And as a well-known Hollywood star, she has navigated countless career highs and lows. From triumphant moments on the big screen to harsh criticism for her outspoken opinions, she has always remained in the public eye. However, this time, the situation is entirely different. This isn't just another heated TV argument or a scathing magazine article. This time, the FBI is involved, and it's not due to a mere controversial remark. Instead, they are taking this matter seriously. The raid on Whoopi Goldberg's home wasn't a sudden or impulsive act. Those familiar with law enforcement procedures know that the FBI never executes a search without substantial evidence to support their actions. This leads to a pressing question: just how long has Whoopi been under surveillance? According to multiple sources within the industry, the agency started monitoring her activities several months ago. While the specific details of their investigation remain unclear, one thing is certain: this is no minor issue. Federal authorities do not engage in such operations for trivial reasons. If a warrant was issued, it indicates that they strongly believe something significant is at play. But the most puzzling mystery is why Whoopi Goldberg has become the focus of this probe. Some legal analysts speculate that this could involve financial misconduct. In recent years, numerous celebrities have faced legal trouble over tax violations or questionable business dealings. Yet, if this were merely a financial dispute, why would the FBI take such an aggressive approach? Why would they deploy a heavily armed team to search the home of a veteran actress? It suggests there may be a deeper and more unsettling issue at hand. Throughout her long and storied career, Whoopi Goldberg has frequently been at the center of intense public debates. Never one to hold back, she has consistently spoken her mind, even when it led to backlash. Over the years, her statements on The View, where she served as a longtime co-host, sparked countless heated discussions. Her debates with guests, her candid opinions on politics and social issues. All of these factors made her one of the most polarizing figures in entertainment. But despite past controversies, Whoopi has never faced a scandal that posed a real danger to her career. Until now. As soon as the news of the raid surfaced, social media erupted with speculation. On platforms like Reddit, Twitter, and TikTok, discussions about Whoopi Goldberg took over. While some insisted this was simply a misunderstanding, others pushed conspiracy theories about what the FBI might have uncovered. The media wasted no time in capitalizing on the moment, flooding headlines with sensationalist coverage. Hollywood in shock. FBI searches Whoopi Goldberg's residence. What's happening? Or, one of America's most beloved actresses under investigation. Is this the end of her career? The topic quickly became a talking point on late-night television, with hosts like Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert making sarcastic remarks about the incident. Yet, beneath the humor, there was a serious truth. Whoopi Goldberg's career and reputation were now facing an unprecedented crisis. When the FBI completed their search and left Whoopi Goldberg's residence, they offered no official statement. There were no immediate arrests, no criminal charges filed, and no clarification about the enigmatic box they confiscated. However, their silence only fueled further speculation. Fans of Whoopi feared this might mark the downfall of her legendary career. If the investigation dragged on, it could jeopardize her endorsement deals, her future film roles, and even her position on The View. As Whoopi Goldberg faced this ordeal, her critics couldn't contain their delight. Some detractors even took to the media, publishing mocking pieces that painted this as karma for her past controversial remarks. However, Whoopi is not someone who crumbles under pressure. Mere days after the raid, she finally spoke out in a special episode of The View. Stepping before the audience, she maintained a composed exterior, yet a smoldering fire flickered in her gaze. "I know exactly what's being said about me. I've heard it all," she stated firmly. "But let me set the record straight. I have nothing to hide." She refrained from discussing the details of the investigation, yet her stance made one thing obvious. She wouldn't allow this incident to tarnish her legacy. But was her declaration enough to silence the growing whispers? With the FBI remaining tight-lipped about their findings, the case remained wrapped in mystery. The pressing question now was what was truly unfolding, and more importantly, could Whoopi Goldberg withstand the tempest closing in around her? A heavy silence draped itself over Whoopi Goldberg's lavish estate as FBI agents cautiously stepped inside. Their flashlights pierced the dimness, sweeping over bookcases, elegant artwork, and pristine decor. But their objective wasn't something in plain sight. It lay buried within the mansion's long-held secrets. As their search progressed, one agent's gaze landed on an anomaly, a nearly imperceptible groove lining the base of an office wall. At first glance, it seemed like a simple design feature, but when the agent's fingers brushed against it, an audible click shattered the stillness. The entire team froze, every eye locking onto the wall. A seasoned agent, adept at uncovering hidden compartments, crouched down and traced the groove once more. This time, another click resounded, but it wasn't alone. A portion of the wall shifted, revealing a concealed doorway absent from any of the mansion's blueprints. The agents exchanged sharp glances, tension thick in the air. No one knew what lay beyond. Weapons drawn, they braced themselves for whatever was on the other side. The door creaked open, revealing a narrow corridor descending into darkness. A stale, untouched scent hung heavy in the air, as though the space had been sealed off for decades. As they stepped inside, they found themselves in an isolated chamber, starkly different from the grandeur above. No windows, no embellishments, just dust-laden wooden shelves and a lone, aged table at the center. However, what truly captured the agent's attention was a stack of metal boxes arranged neatly in a corner, each sealed with remarkable precision. One agent pried open the nearest box. Inside lay a trove of aged documents, many marked confidential. Some pages had yellowed with time, yet their contents remained intact. Another agent flipped through the papers, instantly recognizing names, powerful individuals from the worlds of entertainment and politics. But among all the discoveries, the most unsettling item was hidden at the bottom of the box, an aged letter handwritten on thick parchment, its seal still intact. The wax bore a deep crimson hue, and the insignia imprinted on it was unmistakable. This wasn't just any letter. It was a relic tied to an infamous case the FBI had never been able to crack. As the lead agent carefully lifted it, his breath caught. Every line, every curve of the handwriting carried weight. In that moment, the realization struck: this letter could change everything. The sender didn't sign with their full name. Yet, a crucial hint was buried within the letter. If this message has been discovered, it means the truth was deliberately kept hidden. The words carried an air of mystery, as though meant for someone in the future, or possibly a warning. But the biggest question remained: how did this letter end up inside Whoopi Goldberg's home? Judging by the wax seal and the letter's contents, the FBI suspected a connection to a long-buried case from years past. A case they had never disclosed to the public. Some inside sources hinted that this investigation was linked to one of the most infamous Hollywood scandals ever recorded: an unsolved disappearance, a secret guarded by the powerful. Yet, the most pressing question was whether Whoopi Goldberg had any knowledge of this concealed space. Was she aware of these confidential documents, or had she unknowingly come into possession of them? The FBI understood they couldn't rush to conclusions. These files might serve as critical evidence in a case loss of time, or they could be the key to revealing a truth many had desperately sought to suppress. One fact was undeniable: the investigation was far from over. As soon as news of the hidden chamber leaked, the media erupted. Outlets scrambled to be the first to break the story. FBI discovers secret vault in Whoopi Goldberg's mansion. What's she hiding? Speculation ran wild, ranging from reasonable theories to outlandish conspiracy claims. Some believed Whoopi Goldberg had access to classified information about a Hollywood cover-up, while others suggested she was entangled in a much larger mystery. Whatever the truth, one thing was certain: Whoopi Goldberg was no longer just a celebrated actress. She had become the focal point of one of the most perplexing cases the FBI had ever encountered. And the ultimate mystery remained: what exactly was in that letter, and where would its trail lead the investigators? The moment news of the FBI's search at Whoopi Goldberg's estate broke, it spread like wildfire. Within hours, every major news outlet, television broadcast, and social media platform was filled with sensational headlines. The public dissected every detail that surfaced, but few realized that behind the scenes, the FBI was beginning to unravel a story far bigger than anyone expected. Clues hidden within the recovered documents were pointing to an astonishing possibility. Could Whoopi Goldberg be linked to a shocking chapter in Hollywood's past? As the FBI pored over the classified documents from the secret chamber, they quickly realized these weren't just private notes. Among them were letters exchanged between Whoopi Goldberg and some of the most influential figures in the entertainment industry: directors, producers, and even executives behind Hollywood's most dominant corporations. But one name, in particular, stood out: Howard L. Emerson. While the general public might not recognize his name, Emerson was a crucial figure in investigative circles. He had been a powerful film producer from the 1970s through the 1990s, only to suddenly vanish from Hollywood. His last known public appearance had been in 1994, right before a major financial scandal involving one of the industry's biggest studios erupted. Rumors suggested he had fled the country, severing all ties with Hollywood. And now, decades later, his name had resurfaced, hidden among Whoopi Goldberg's secret documents. What led Whoopi Goldberg to exchange letters with such a controversial figure? One document that particularly stood out to the FBI was a handwritten note signed by Whoopi Goldberg in 1993. Within the letter was a chilling passage: "I remember exactly what happened that night. If the truth gets out, we're all in deep trouble." But which night was she referring to? And what occurred that made someone like Whoopi feel compelled to write such ominous words? A few months later, another letter surfaced, seemingly an attempt to calm someone down. "They won't uncover anything. Just stay silent," it reassured. These letters hinted at something bigger, possibly even a larger scheme. However, at that point, the FBI hadn't pieced together the full picture. But as they sifted through more evidence, a single discovery changed everything: a dusty VHS tape labeled "Do Not Watch, Private." Without wasting time, agents rushed it to the lab, eager to retrieve its contents. Just by glancing at its deteriorating exterior, they could tell that whatever was inside had been kept from the world for decades. As the investigation progressed, authorities uncovered Whoopi Goldberg's close ties to an elite circle of film industry power players during the late 80s and early 90s. Among them were individuals rumored to be entangled in a high-profile scandal, a case that had been deliberately buried and erased from public memory. In 1991, a promising young actor mysteriously vanished from Hollywood after making allegations against an influential figure. Yet, before the truth could surface, the case was hushed, and the accuser's identity was wiped from records. Now, the pressing question was, had Whoopi Goldberg been aware of this all along? And if so, was her involvement intentional, or had she unwittingly been caught in something beyond her control? Most crucially, were the documents found in her home the missing link to reopening a long-forgotten Hollywood mystery? When the news of these secret files spread, the public reaction was immediate. Fans who had admired Whoopi Goldberg for years found themselves torn between doubt and disbelief. Some speculated that she had unknowingly been swept into an incident she never anticipated, while others feared she had been guarding a dangerous truth. The FBI's search, many believed, was just the beginning. What lay ahead could rewrite everything people thought they knew about her. Now, as investigators stood before mountains of evidence, they couldn't ignore the possibility that the hidden room inside her mansion held only a fraction of what was yet to be uncovered. What was on that VHS tape? Were the letters really linked to an industry-shaking scandal? And if the full story came to light, what would it mean for Whoopi Goldberg's legacy? One thing was undeniable. The investigation had only just begun, and what the FBI was about to uncover next had the power to shatter everything. The dramatic FBI raid on Whoopi Goldberg's home sent shockwaves through Hollywood and ignited widespread speculation. Countless theories emerged. What was she hiding? Did the confiscated documents expose something explosive? And why had the FBI acted with such urgency? For days, the world could only wait, watching the situation unfold. Then, just when the speculation reached its peak, Whoopi Goldberg finally broke her silence. Appearing on one of America's most-watched television programs, she addressed the rumors head-on. With an air of composure yet unwavering resolve, she faced the host's probing question about the raid. Taking a deep breath, she met the camera's gaze and stated plainly, "Imagine waking up one morning to find the FBI standing in your living room. If you think that's a pleasant way to start your day, trust me, it's not." From the moment Whoopi spoke, it was clear she had no plans to sidestep the topic. When questioned about the mysterious documents seized by the FBI, she chuckled and remarked that they had uncovered old letters, movie scripts, and, unexpectedly, a stack of history books. "I suppose I should have warned them. I collect things," she added with amusement. She firmly maintained that the documents found in the hidden chamber posed no real concern, insisting they were merely part of her personal archive, a collection marking the journey of her long career. However, what truly caught the public off guard was a surprising revelation. The so-called secret room wasn't a place meant for concealing shocking truths. It was actually a personal museum. "I've always had a deep appreciation for Hollywood history, especially the forgotten moments," she explained. "That space was simply my way of preserving things I found fascinating over the years." She went on to clarify that the letters exchanged with Howard L. Emerson, the man under FBI investigation, were nothing more than discussions about film concepts that never made it to production. "We spoke about projects that never took off, stories that were too controversial at the time. That's all. No hidden agendas, no crimes, just two passionate film lovers exchanging ideas." Yet, the conversation didn't end with just an explanation of the seized papers. When pressed on whether she believed the raid was an orchestrated effort to tarnish her name, Whoopi hesitated briefly before offering a cryptic response. "Let's just say Hollywood is never short of surprises. Some people don't appreciate it when you ask too many questions," she hinted, setting off a storm of speculation. Who had initiated this investigation? Was someone deliberately trying to damage Whoopi Goldberg's reputation? Reports soon surfaced, revealing that the FBI had acted on an anonymous tip, an informant whose identity and motives remained a mystery. As soon as the interview aired, the public found itself divided. Some wholeheartedly believed Whoopi was innocent, convinced she was caught in an unfortunate mix-up, or possibly even the target of a politically motivated scheme. But doubts lingered among others. Why would the FBI launch such an operation if it was all so trivial? And, perhaps most intriguingly, was there something Whoopi hadn't yet disclosed? Regardless of how convincing her account seemed, too many questions remained unanswered. Among the seized items was a VHS tape, yet to be analyzed. Was it merely an old film reel, or did it contain something that could change the narrative entirely? For now, the truth remained out of reach, and this saga appeared to be only the first chapter of a much deeper mystery. As the days unfolded, the incident sent ripples through the entertainment industry, triggering reactions from studios, colleagues, and fans that could alter Hollywood's landscape forever. Whoopi Goldberg, a true legend of the silver screen, now found herself at the heart of an unprecedented controversy. Would she emerge unscathed, or would this scandal leave a lasting mark on her career? Within mere days of the raid, Hollywood's biggest studios wasted no time in responding. A major film project involving Whoopi Goldberg, once deep in development, was abruptly put on hold. According to an industry insider, executives were treading carefully. No one wanted to be linked to controversy at such a sensitive moment. Additionally, a documentary on Hollywood's rich history, which Whoopi was producing, lost financial backing as investors reassessed its viability. Even The View, the popular talk show where Whoopi Goldberg had long been a co-host, felt the tremors. As sponsors began pulling out, tension loomed over the production. In an industry as pragmatic as Hollywood, admiration quickly turns to avoidance when scandal strikes. While some in the artistic community voiced their support, arguing that the FBI's actions were unjustified, not everyone rallied behind her. Many key figures within the industry distanced themselves, refraining from mentioning her name in interviews. Some colleagues even erased past social media posts featuring her, clearly unwilling to jeopardize their own standing by association. As Hollywood wrestled with its divided stance, the general public found itself similarly split. A faction of Whoopi's fans believed she was being targeted unfairly, insisting the FBI's intervention was excessive and baseless. Others, however, remained skeptical. The secrecy surrounding the confiscated materials, along with the FBI's reluctance to disclose findings, made it difficult for them to place their trust in her. The lack of clear answers only fueled uncertainty, making her situation all the more precarious. While speculation ran rampant, the FBI chose to maintain an eerie silence. No official statements were made, and no further updates surfaced, intensifying the cloud of mystery. Was the Bureau building up to a major revelation, or had they realized they had acted hastily and were now looking for an exit strategy? One media analyst pointed out that prolonged silence can sometimes be more damaging than a premature statement. If the FBI failed to clarify the situation soon, the public would craft its own narratives, leading to widespread misinformation. As days passed without clarity, wild theories began to flourish. Some sensational tabloids suggested that an invisible force within the entertainment industry was orchestrating Whoopi Goldberg's downfall. Regardless of the speculation's accuracy, one thing became evident: her reputation was hanging by a thread. The crucial question remained: could she rise above this scandal and reclaim her standing? Hollywood has witnessed its share of stars who never recovered from controversy, yet there have also been those who defied the odds and made triumphant comebacks. Whoopi Goldberg, known for her resilience, talent, and cultural influence, certainly had the potential to fight back. But would that be enough to weather the storm? Only the passage of time would reveal the answer. One thing, however, was undeniable: this was merely the beginning. The FBI had stumbled upon something unexpected, yet the implications for Whoopi Goldberg were still unclear. A new chapter in her story had begun, and the revelations that lay ahead could be even more explosive than the ones already exposed.